tucheze. Oh, tucheze. Tumekuja sherehe, leo ni kupati. Kama wezi meshika, amka ucheze.
all right, everyone. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Many blessings to all of you joining us today. My name is Piotr Ciepiel, and we have given you a couple of extra minutes for you to settle in, to connect with your breath, connect to the beautiful music, and prepare yourself for this unique session. I also mentioned, share the link. You've still got time. Share the link with your friends, family, neighbors, anyone that you know. Share it so that we can grow this tribe and we can bring people to these events so they can really feel the connection of the community, the connection to their breath and to what SOMA Breath has to offer. How many of you here are excited about today's session? Can I see some? I see smiles. I see some hands up. Fantastic. Yes, Emma, I'm ready as well. This is going to be a unique blend of breathing and Qigong. And of course, we have today a very special person, a SOMA Breath master transformational coach, Kyle, with us. And I will introduce him in just a moment. I'll make sure as well that he will introduce his own session. But before we even start, let's type into the chat where you're tuning in from right now. And I am currently in Poland. I am in Poland right now. So I'm tuning in from Poland. It is cold. It is raining. I am not complaining. That rhymed. Raining and not complaining. And where is everyone else tuning in from? I love how people are already putting in numbers as well. If you're part of this Sunday Breathe Together event, you know that the next question that we have for you is, how are you feeling on a scale from 1 to 10? 1, feeling a little bit like, not so much. Maybe the full moon has affected your mood. Maybe you just need something special like this session today. Or maybe you're a 10 already. Maybe you're already hyped up. And I believe that some of you will be already a 10. But let me just go through the chat right now. So we have Bangladesh. Welcome to this session. We have, let me just go through this. I see hearts already. I see thumbs up. Maine, Mexico, Germany, Texas, Germany again, Netherlands, Vietnam, Canada, UK, United States, New York City, England, Norway, Netherlands. Incredible, beautiful. Thank you all so much for sharing where you're tuning in from. And then, of course, the numbers. Eric is a 7+. Kim is a 6. We have another 6, a 5. Fada is a 6. Amy is a 6. We got Seattle, Pittsburgh in the house as well. We got some really beautiful numbers showing that you all already know that this experience, you joining in here to this live session, will not only elevate the level of vibrational energy, but will make you feel high on your own supply. And we all know how important it is in today's world to be high on our own supply, and breathwork and Qigong. And people like Kyle can actually bring that to this session. So this is the Sunday Breathe Together today with flow, with movement. Kyle, brother, I'm going to unmute you and I will allow you to introduce your session, introduce yourself, and welcome people to this event, to this special experience.
Alrighty. Aho, namaste, and shalom. Thank you so much, Piotr, my brother. Welcome, everyone. As you mentioned, this is going to be a little bit of a different type of SOMA Breath Sunday session here today. Along with being one of SOMA Breath's master instructors and transformational coaches, I also teach Qigong. I've been teaching for about 3 years and been practicing for about 8 now. So still relatively new in the game, relatively speaking. Some people have been practicing for all their life. So either way, it's been a huge part of my path and my journey. So I'm excited to bring this session here today. I just want to make sure we're going to be kind of doing a little bit of standing, a little bit of movement in our warm-up. So we just first and foremost want to make sure that we have plenty of room So if you want to go ahead and start making sure that that space is available for you, I'd like to do that now as I also continue some of my introduction. So SOMA Breath is incredible because we can take this modality and we can combine it with other modalities. We can use SOMA Breath as sort of a container for many different types of meditations and different types of energy work. So you know, everyone knows, hopefully, if this is your first time coming to a Soma Breath session, then just know that this is not going to be a normal Soma Breath. We usually have some sort of intention setting in Soma Breath sessions. And so for this one, our intention is going to be to connect and to build this life force energy, this chi, or the Indians, the yogic system calls it prana. So there's a little correspondence to prana and chi, this life force energy that animates our body. And it not only animates the body, but it permeates the entire universe as well. So instead of having a visualization in this intention, we're going to actually not be visualizing anything. We're going to be really trying to feel this life force energy. We're going to be doing the breath work. So I'll just explain the breath work technique. So usually after our intention setting, we then have 3 phases of the Soma breath. So the Soma breath has rhythmical breathing, breath retention out on the exhale, and then breath retention on the inhale. So for the rhythmical breathing, usually we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. For this session, we're going to be using both in through the nose and out through the mouth, as well as in through the nose and out through the nose. So just pay attention to when I give that distinction. I'll go through and I'll be guiding you through the entire session, so everything should be clear. But we will be doing a lot of rhythmical breathing. After rhythmical breathing, Soma breath usually follows with a breath retention out on the exhale. So we exhale the air out of the lungs completely. This is what allows us to enter into this Baya Kumbhaka. Here's where we drop our oxygen levels. The carbon dioxide begins to rise, and this is what allows us to build this CO2 tolerance as we enter into this state of hypoxia. We will be doing that, but only for the last 2 rounds. So as you're holding the breath, you want to stay as relaxed as you can. If you're sitting upright, you can tuck the chin into the neck, which I want everybody to be sitting upright for this. So we're going to be tucking the chin into the neck a little bit at that point. And you want to be staying totally relaxed in that breath retention. And then you can take a couple of those booster breaths. So as you're holding the breath out, you might feel an urge to breathe. And then when that urge becomes too much for you, just take a little sip of air in and then back out. And then you hold the breath again. And you can do that as much as you want until I give the cue for the retention on the inhale. So the third phase is breathing in and holding. And at this point, we can pull up on the pelvic floor and we reoxygenate the body. Again, we can tuck the chin slightly into the neck and hold the breath for about 30 seconds or however long is comfortable for you. And then you can release with a tone or a sigh. And you can take a few of those recovery breaths, slowly extending the exhale to help return back to normal breathing. So that's the normal way that we do the Soma breath. Rhythmical breathing, breath retention out on the exhale, breath retention on the inhale. As I mentioned, we are going to be kind of doing something different. So after our warm-up, when we do our first round of breathing, we're actually not going to hold our breath. The reason being is because we're going to be standing up when we do this. And if we are standing and we hold our breath, there's always that safety concern that we can kind of pass out and fall. And we don't ever want to do that. We always want to be safe when we're doing this practice. So for the first round, we're not going to hold the breath. But for the second 2 rounds, I'm going to then guide you to sit down in your chair, and then you can do the breath retentions. So I just want to make that clear. And then some other safety stuff that we want to go over. If you are joining for the first time and for these last 2 rounds, we are going to be doing the breath retention. And so there are some contraindications. The rhythmical breathing is going to be safe for everybody. So you can always do rhythmical breathing, even if you have these contraindications. But for the breath retentions, if you have any severe critical diseases or infections, especially if it impairs your ability to breathe, if you have any heart issues such as uncontrolled hypertension, a pacemaker, or if you have heart arrhythmia, if you are pregnant, if you have epilepsy, or if you have any organ failure or late-stage terminal illness, you don't want to be holding the breath. Those are the contraindications for the breath retention. And if you're going to be taking this breath work outside of these type of sessions and into your personal practice, we just always want to make sure that we're never practicing while we're driving, if we're in water, and we don't really recommend doing it on a full stomach or if you have a flu or a fever. So just keep that in mind. Those are some other safety things. We always want to be safe whenever we're practicing energy work like SOMA Breath. So let me just kind of share my music here before we get started, making sure that this is all set up properly. All right, so as I mentioned, we're not going to really have an intention setting for this session, but I do like to start off just by a little bit of context of like Qigong in general. So Qigong, if you look at the translation, Qi, like I said, is that life force energy, equivalent to prana in yoga. And then Gong means skill or work. So basically it's energy work or energy cultivation. And Qigong is this kind of umbrella term for many different types of Taoist cultivation practices. It's actually a newer term that was started to use in the 50s. But these cultivation practices actually go far back for thousands of years and used to be called different things. So there's different types of Qigong, obviously, many different methods, different lineages out there, different approaches. But if you kind of boil down the foundation of Qigong, and there's sort of two main ways to practice. And you can say this is like the yin and the yang, the two polarities of the Taoist cosmology. So yin is all about stillness, and yang is about movement. And so these types of practices, you always want to be balancing stillness and movement. So most Qigong sessions and classes, and if you look at YouTube and just pull up a general type of Qigong session, most of them really focus on the movement aspect, the more yang aspect. And even though it's not very intense or vigorous, there's still usually movements. And what that does, it's actually mobilizing the energy. It's opening up the channels, the meridians of energy, which is a huge part of Qigong, and it's very needed. However, what's missing from a lot of these sort of online YouTube sessions is the stillness aspect. So the way that I like to teach is more traditional. So we are going to be doing both types of practices. So keeping that in mind, there's also a couple of other foundational principles that we want to focus on. So for one is the mindset that we're going into. So we know that we're trying to cultivate this life force energy. And usually in our daily life, our mind is externalized into the senses. And we're actually using energy. We're having an outpouring, an outflowing of this energy. And in Qigong, we want to reverse that. We want to start to turn within. We want to start to reverse that flow of energy and really start to harness it and cultivate it in the body instead of allowing it to flow outside of ourselves. So one way to do this, starting to turn within and connect with the deeper core of our being, is through a practice called the inner smile. And many of you have probably heard of this. If you were on our session last week, with Cindy, she brought in a little bit of the smile. This is a huge part of my own practice and something that I always bring into all of my sessions, even beyond Qigong, this inner smile. And it's deceptively simple. All we need to do is simply smile to ourselves. And yes, that includes putting a little grin on the face. And this is why the Buddha is often seen in that smiling, that inner smile, because he's in that state of nirvana. He knows himself to be the light of pure awareness, pure energy, pure consciousness. And so first and foremost, we want to connect to this inner smile and allow that to radiate throughout our entire practice. And this allows the sutures of the skull to kind of open up and allow the higher self to descend into the body. It lifts the organs up, and it just allows us to connect to that space within that is in total acceptance, total appreciation. The thoughts and the emotions begin to dissolve, and we enter into the oneness energy, the yuan qi. So we want to be holding this inner smile throughout. If there's going to be any intention, it's going to be the inner smile. And another foundation that we want to be doing is diaphragmatic breathing, or dantian breathing. So the dantian is the lower energy center in the body, and there's many different traditions that place it in different ways, different places in the body. The tradition that I like to do is it's below the navel, and it's in between the navel and the pubic bone, and it's in the first third of the body. So it's not really in the direct center, but it's slightly forward. So we're going to be focusing our mind and our intention here for most of the practice. Yeah, so other than that, we want to be holding the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, right behind the front teeth, and this will start to open up the energy meridians and the circuits within the body. And with that said, I'd like you all to now stand up. We're gonna make some room. We'll begin with a little warm-up. Before we ever get into actual Qigong practice, you always want to warm up the body, open up the joints and the tendons. So we're just going to begin to shake the body. Start to shake in place, bounce up and down. I'm sure everyone can still see me. Just beginning to smile. Deepen the breath. As we're shaking out the hands, shaking out the feet. Up on the shoulders to bounce up and down. I don't know if my screen is pinned, but if we can maybe pin my screen, that might be helpful. So we're shaking, releasing all of the tension, releasing the worries, doubts, past week. You begin to lift the elbows. Arms, as we're continuing the shaking, just start to twist the spine. Remembering to smile, remembering to breathe. As we're twisting, shaking, we can begin to tap the lower belly. And the lower back. Starting to sink the chi, bringing the mind and the energy into the lower abdomen, that lower dantian. can take this tapping and either use loose fists, or we can cup the palms. The fists go a little bit deeper into the body, into the bones. We're going to take the tapping, we're going to go down the legs. I like to go down inside of the legs. All the way down to the feet, or as low as you can go. When you get to the ankles, you're going to go up the front and the back of the leg, where you're getting that full dynamic range, opening up all the channels and meridians in the leg. This is called acu-tapping. This is allowing us to not only stimulate the energy flow within the channels and the meridians, but also break up any blockages. And you want to hit hard enough to stimulate, but not hard enough to hurt yourself. So always finding that balance. Tapping around the pelvis. And back down the other leg. All the way down to the ankles. And back up the front and the back. We'll go up the side of the torso. Down the arms. Back up the other side of the arm. Across the shoulders, the collarbones. Tapping the thymus gland high in the chest. Stimulating the immune system. Making your way back, other side, other arm. Down the arms. Up. Down the torso. Back down to the lower dantian, the space below the navel. Shaking out the hands once more. We'll just roll the neck. Circles, opening up the neck. And reversing the direction, going the opposite way. Rolling the shoulders. Opening up the joints in the shoulders. And then down to the hips. We'll just take a little bit of a wider stance, just opening up the hips with some hip circles. Just some gentle warm-ups. You might already start to feel this tingling sensation, the vibration from the shaking and the tapping. That is the chi, that life force energy. And chi flows where the mind goes. So when you bring your mind to the sensation of chi, you start to build the qi, start to concentrate it. Qi becomes stronger. Remembering to smile, remembering to breathe deep, reversing the direction. So maybe one last one, we'll just open up the wrists. And reversing the direction. Just take a moment to feel your body. Switch over the music here. All right, so we have our warm-up. We've opened up the body, opened up the joints and the tendons. Now we're going to get into the meat of the practice. First, we're going to find what's called the Ma-Bu stance, also called horse stance. Just a few things here. Wonder why that's coming into my screen now. Maybe this will help. All right, cool. So to find your Ma-Bu stance, you're gonna bring the feet together into this mountain pose. I don't know why I'm disappearing. So that once the feet are together, you're gonna then spread the toes out to a 45-degree angle. Your toes are kind of pointing out to this 45-degree angle. You're then going to slide your heels directly behind your toes. So your feet are pointing straight forward. This will put you about you're about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit longer. You're going to roll the shoulders up, back, and you're going to relax the shoulders down. And you're just going to sink into this sitting without sitting. So there's a slight bend in the knees. The knees should never go past the toes. You want the tailbone to be neutral, so it's not tucked under, it's not tucked out. It's just a natural curve in the spine. You want the shoulders relaxed, the arms are hanging out by the sides. There's a slight gap in the armpits, and you're gonna ground the middle fingers into the thighs. So the rest of the hand is relaxed, but the middle fingers are grounding into your thighs. Chest is open. You can clench the feet. Try to grasp the floor with your toes. This will put a slight gap in the bottom of the foot. And you want to be pressing outwards on your inner thighs. This is what's activating what's called the quad, or the groin area. So create a firm foundation in your stance. Extend the neck, so the neck is straight. Top of the head lifting to the heavens. Tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Jaws hanging loose. We're just going to begin to smile, dropping the mind down into the dantian, the space below the navel, as we begin to breathe in through the nose.
3, 4, 5.
out through the nose.
3, 4, in,
So we're starting with nasal breathing here.
4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4,
Out.
2, 3, 4,
Focusing
2,
on the space below the abdomen.
2, 3, 4,
As it pressurizes on the inhale,
3, 4,
the pressure naturally releases on the exhale.
4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4,
There's effort on the inhale.
3, 4,
The exhale is effortless.
3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4,
So what's called Jam Zhuang, standing in stillness.
4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3,
More yin aspect of our practice. This is where we truly build the energy. You can only build energy in stillness. This breathwork technique in Taoism is called the one breath, where we connect the breath, inhale to the exhale, exhale back into the inhale. It's concentrated in the lower dantian, the space below the navel. Remembering to smile, breathing deep. Notice how your body and your mind start to react to the practice. Notice any urges to move. Try to release those urges. Remain still. And after a few minutes of the practice, you might start to build up this heat. I'm going to run through some of the points again. Remembering to grasp the floor of the feet, slight gap in the center of the foot, bend in the knees, pressing outwards on the inner thighs. Tailbone is neutral. Natural S-curve in the spine. Chest is open. Slight gap in the armpits. Arms and hands hanging down. Middle finger grounded into the thighs. Neck is straight. Crown to the heavens. Eyes are either closed or half open. Tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Energy concentrating in the space below the navel as it pressurizes on the inhale. Naturally deflates on the exhale. can release the breath, shake out the hands, maybe kick out the feet. Great job, everyone. Zhuang, or standing in stillness, is definitely the hardest part of cultivation, but it's also the most beneficial in a sense. This is where we are truly able to build the energy. I want you to now find a nice, comfortable position in your seat. And so remember, we're always balancing yin and yang, stillness and movement. So now that we've built up energy in the space below the navel into the dantian, now we're going to mobilize it. We're going to get ready to create an energy pearl, or a ball of energy. So we're going to now switch to breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And this is what's going to allow the energy to flow outside of our body. So one way to do this is clapping the hands, rubbing the palms. Qigong, you can say, is also learning the language of energy. We give instructions to the life force energy. So by doing this, we're now instructing the energy to kind of mobilize from the dantian into the hands and into the arms. And open and close the hands. And just take a moment to feel your hands, feel the vibration, the tingling sensation in your hands. You can always just feel that energy is just what we just did, just clapping the hands, rubbing the palms, opening and closing the fists real fast. If you ever want to activate that energy pretty quickly, it's one way to do it. So from here, we're just going to start to build a ball of energy. We're going to imagine that there's this pearl or this ball in between our palms. Energy is going to be flowing out of our, what's called our hand chakras, or Lao Gong points. It's not in the center of the palm, it's actually a little bit up towards the first two fingers. So you can press on that point if you want to kind of stimulate it. Just a little bit up towards the index and the middle finger, but still in the palm. Energy is going to be emitting out of these points, and when the 2 points meet, when the energy meets, it creates this ball of energy in between our palms. This is another foundational practice in Qigong, building the energy ball. So we're going to keep our gaze and our focus in the space between the palms as we do this next round together. Again, kind of clap the hands, rub the palms. Opening, close the fists. Smile, holding the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. play with trying to sense a magnetic feeling in between the hands. If you push and pull them together, I feel like you're pushing magnets together. That magnetic sensation is the yin qi. Any tingling that you feel is yang qi, more electrical. Yang is electrical, yin is magnetic. We're going to add in the breath to help build this ball of energy. In through the nose, out through the mouth this time. In, 2, 3, 4. Out.
2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In,
The nose,
3, 4.
out through the mouth.
2,
Tip of the tongue right behind the front teeth.
in, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4.
As you inhale, the ball expands.
3, 4.
As you exhale, the ball contracts.
4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3.
As you inhale, you want to stretch out the palms, stretch out the fingers. And as you exhale, you release the stretch.
4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4.
Staying with the breath,
2,
keeping your attention
4. Out.
on the pearl.
3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4.
Fanning
2, 3, 4.
and contracting.
2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4.
Breathe in a perfect rhythm.
2, 3,
Begin to balance the polarities, yang and yin.
4.
Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Expanding the ball on the inhale. And contract on the exhale. As you stay with this rhythm, you can start to play with this ball of energy. You can move it around. Just like you would move your hands as if you were holding an actual physical ball. You want to torque the wrists, torque the hands. Staying with the breath. you breathe, the more energy build, the more you'll feel that magnetic sensation, those tingling sensations. One last breath here, now fully in. And fully holding your breath. Just start to play with this feeling in between your palms. You move the hands back and forth. Be very gentle on the breath retention here. Relaxing. Remembering that booster breath whenever you need it. Just a gentle inhale in and back out. Feel the energy pulsating. Try to relax a little bit further. And whenever you need to, you're going to take a nice deep inhale in and you're going to eat the pearl. You're going to swallow it down, pressing down slightly on the diaphragm, pressing up on the pelvic floor to kind of condense this energy back into the body. Very gently here. Release with a tone or a sigh. Allowing the energy remain in the body. Just taking a moment to feel. Drop the hands into a natural Buddhist mudra. For males, left hand is on top of the right, thumbs are touching. For females, the right is on top of the left. Just naturally holding the hands in the lap, smiling, guiding the smiling energy again down into the dantian, the space below the navel. Chi flows where the mind goes, and when we chase the thoughts, when we bring the mind outside of ourselves, the chi begins to outpour, begins to leak. And so we always just want to bring it back, concentrate it, For our last round here, we're gonna again enter into the more yin stillness. So we're gonna switch back to nasal breathing, in through the nose and out through the nose. Tip of the tongue still to the roof of the mouth, right behind the front teeth. And breathe. Nose, out through the nose, pressing, pressurizing on the inhale, pushing down on the diaphragm, and releasing the pressure on the exhale. In, out, mind, lower abdomen expands and pressurizes on the inhale, and that pressure releases on the exhale. Effort on the in, exhale is effortless. Just smiling, just breathing. last breath here, all the way in. And let it all go. Exhaling completely and holding the breath. Again, keeping your concentration in the space below the navel. Feeling this inward magnetic gravitational pull into the center of gravity. Taking the booster breath whenever you need it. Relaxing. Next urge, wherever you are in your journey, try to relax a little bit further. And whenever you need to, I'm going to take a nice deep inhale in through the nose and hold and compress the energy down. You can swallow any saliva, pressing down gently on the diaphragm, pulling up gently on the pelvic floor, keeping the energy concentrated and compressed in the space below the navel. Releasing whenever you need to with a tone or a hum. Just completely surrendering and letting go of all effort as we enter into Wu Wei, non-doing, effortless being. Stillness, we receive the fruits of our labor. Always want to spend as much time in stillness after any type of energy work. Always balancing Yo Wei or doing with Wu Wei, non-doing. Always balancing. It's nice to remain in stillness for as long as we can. So if you feel called to continue to remain in stillness, by all means do so. However, for the sake of time and for the sake of this call, you may also choose to come back. And we'll just close down with one last little exercise. Again, clapping the hands, rubbing the palms. Covering the eyes, allowing this energy to absorb into the eyes as you rotate the eyes in circles, discharging any energy in the head. Massage the face, the ears. Gently tap the back of the head with the fingertips. And tapping up to the crown, the top of the head. Down to the forehead. Across the eyebrows to the temples. Around the eyes, cheeks. The upper lip. Around the mouth to the chin and the jaw. Down the neck. Collarbones, shoulders. Across the chest, the sides of the ribs. Working way around to the back. Just begin to rub the kidneys. Kidneys are like the batteries of our energy body. You always want to nourish the kidneys, associated with the water element in Taoism. Tapping around the diaphragm. Back down to the space below the navel. Sealing off our practice, placing the hands over each other, again right over left for males, opposite for females, and just rubbing the space below the navel. As you're rubbing the dantian, crystallizing, coagulating this experience, you're going to swish the tongue around the outer edges of the gums, and gathering any saliva. As the SOMA, the golden elixir of immortality, of health and wellness, is released through the saliva. All those good, feel-good hormones, tryptamines, and neuropeptides. Your own inner elixir. And if you have some saliva, you can pull it in the back of the tongue. And you can try to curl the tongue into a straw, mix it with a little bit of air. And swallow this mixture down with a nice loud dragon's gulp. It's like a loud gulp followed by a clearing of the throat. Just feel your body, feel your energy. Notice the difference since you first began this cultivation practice. That concludes our SOMA session here today. I just wanted to thank you all for joining me. Hope that you can remember the inner smile, radiate this energy throughout the rest of your day, throughout the week, lighting up your community, your family, all of those around you. And remember Wu Wei, effortlessness.
Thank you so much, Kyle, from all of us. Truly, thank you. Allow yourself to come back to this space and to this body and be in that stillness for as often as you possibly can and cultivate it, as Kyle mentioned, because it is the truth that through stillness, wisdom appears. It is in that stillness that we can have then that beautiful ripple effect on our communities and on our own emotional, physical, and spiritual, mental, energetic bodies. Thank you, Kyle, once more. And please share in the chat as well your experience, your journey through this Qigong SOMA Breath session. I always like to mention that if you share, it means that you allow it to be vocalized. It allows to have form and gives you more clarity. So once you share it in the chat, it's not only for us to read, and of course I'll be reading a couple of these out in just a moment, but it will give you a lot of permission to be in this space as well with the experiences that you have gone through this journey. And of course, this journey is just the beginning. So this is the magic of SOMA Breath and coming together on Sunday, breathe together, now Qigong together sessions. Magical. And please, throughout the next couple of hours, the days, be very much connected to everything that will be showing up in your reality, within you, in your physical body, emotional body, mental body. Because again, a lot of energy has been moved and you are an energetic being. So be very aware of everything that is going on, because magic is truly happening in these moments of stillness. And we just cultivated that. So thank you once more, Kyle. Let me just read out a couple of the comments in the chat. Thank you. Fabulous practice from Jan. Thank you. Thank you. Plenty of hearts. Fantastic experience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much from Jolande. Emma, I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. It was awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. They keep on pouring in and it's just so beautiful to see. Really nice. Great. I like the blending of Qigong. I used to practice basic Qigong with breath. Cynthia, yeah. Cynthia also mentioned when you were slightly fading away with the screen behind you, like she mentioned, you look enlightened, and we're like, he is. There was a moment of like drifting away the screen, but no, everything was beautiful. Everything was exactly as meant to be. It was beautiful. I'm ready to receive. I received. I confirm. Says Feda. Dina, thank you, Kyle. Great session today. I need to start my program. Thank you, Jim. Yes, Jim. Kim, thank you so much for clearing my stuck energy and for feeling peace. Toba, so awesome. Thank you so much. This beautiful energy session. Thank you, Kyle, for this beautiful Qigong practice. Emma, I could feel the beautiful energy throughout my whole being. Thank you so, so much. Sandra, thank you very much, Kyle, for this beautiful breathwork session. I couldn't do everything because I'm driving in the bus, but I will do this session tomorrow at home again. And let me also just mention, because of course I will ask some of you if you want to join us here and give us the feedback, maybe to Kyle and to the community as well in just a moment, not just by putting in a chat box, but actually speaking it out loud. But sessions like this are in the app. So SOMA Breath has an app, and Kyle has his live sessions, Qigong sessions, in the SOMA Breath app. Monica, if you can put in the link into the chat box, because in the app as well, you not only have breathe together sessions, like myself, I'll be guiding one tomorrow, remembering, and the team will be remembering those that are gone. But then we have Nigel with a breathfit session on Wednesday, and we have another breathwork practice on Friday. And of course, next Sunday, we have our founder, Niraj, making sure that we're all ready for the festive season, that we bring in the light through breathwork. So that's next Sunday with Niraj Naik. Is there anyone here in this beautiful call that would like to say a few words out loud? Please just raise your hand or just let me know, and I will make sure that you are. People are also, by the way, people are still joining the waiting room, Kyle. So the session is kind of over, everyone.
That's funny.
Amazing. It is. Let me just see everyone in gallery view. And now, anyone at all that would like to share their experiences, their journey with us? Kara? Yes, yes. I'm just gonna, there you go. I've noticed you. I've noticed you tapping the unmute now. The floor is yours.
I just wanted to say that, I've been going through this period of, compression on every aspect of my life, but I knew that in the center of that compression, there was a jewel of freedom, and I found it today. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. I'm glad I could facilitate such an experience for that, for you. So thank you for joining. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Kara. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to express their journey, how they feel right now? And let me just, in the meantime, as well, read out a couple of other comments. Deep gratitude from Eric, centered, grounded, and energized through stillness. Neely says, thanks. It is wonderful. I feel all my body relax. Shane, thank you, brother. Pure bliss. Energy restored. A moment of stillness and revelation. Thank you. A combination with SOMA Breath is so powerful. Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Yes. I don't see anyone else raising their hands, so I might be assuming, but oh, hold on. Yeah, there you go. The moment I said nobody's raising their hands, Dina has just raised her hand. Dina, I'm unmuting you right now. Now.
Yes.
Perfect, we can hear you.
Hi, everybody. I don't know if you hear me well because my connection doesn't seem to be stable. Kyle, for this wonderful journey. It's actually, I have been trying to attend your classes for a long time, and I couldn't each time. It wasn't working. And today I was like, I'm not going to miss that one, especially because it's, it's on this Sunday. I don't regret at all. It's really interesting to stay in stillness, and I actually wasn't. I didn't feel that it was hard to stay in stillness, especially when we were standing. I found the breath retention harder than usual because I built so much warm and heat in my body, so I had a hard time to hold my breath, and also having to I usually use the tongue behind the pranayama breathing practices, but this hands and then the tongue and then doing the breathing. I found it interesting because you had to let the mind go, but at the same time you had to pay attention to all these these things. So there was like, do you still hear me?
Yep, I got most of it.
My connection.
You're still with us. We can still hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to see if I can change. Okay. Perfect. And I didn't want to leave the non-doing space. Really, like I felt super good. I could have this ocean of, just light, and I didn't want to leave that place, that space. It felt really, really good. I think it was like the best part, and of course, it could not have been possible without everything that happened before. So thank you very much. It felt so good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. I appreciate your feedback, and I'm glad that you finally got to join one of these Qigong sessions. I know internet connection can be a pain sometimes when we're trying to do some work, but glad that you did get to experience it. And just to kind of speak to a few things that you had mentioned there, yeah, the standing in stillness usually is just the most difficult part of cultivation practice, but because we add in the breath work, obviously it's going to make it a lot easier. So the SOMA Breath helps to mitigate some of the challenges of standing in stillness. But I just find in general,
Mm,
a lot of people find that to be the hardest part. So again, it is also one of the most beneficial, and it's what's usually kind of left out of a lot of Qigong sessions out there or practices, unless you really find a good teacher or someone who follows like a more traditional lineage. Um, so it's always been a part of the cultivation, though, is just standing in stillness. And there's different ways you can do it. You can hold the hands up into this holding the tree posture. So you can add in really any holding stillness while you're standing as part of that. Again, that's called Zhuang. And I'll just say, yeah, at first, if you're not used to all these different moving
mm,
parts, like holding the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, but also keeping the jaw relaxed and then like trying to build the energy and like keeping with the breath, it is a lot of moving parts. But the more that you do it, the more you get these patterns ingrained in you, then you start to automatically hold that tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth at all times. And that is just what helps you to build the practice into a deeper level. So the Taoists say you always want to have that touching the roof of the mouth because that's what opens up this energetic circuit called the microcosmic orbit, energy that naturally flows up the spine and then back down the front of the body in this infinite loop. So the more that you can do that, the better, I mean, your life will be because you'll just be naturally flowing and circulating that energy at all times. So that's a key part of Taoist cultivation. But if it's new to you, yeah, absolutely, it's going to be a little bit hard. Or even if you've been practicing it for a little bit, it gets used. It takes a while to get used to just doing that naturally without having a whole lot of attention applied there. Um, but other than that, yeah, again, Wu Wei, that kind of non-doing is really where a lot of the benefits of this practice come in. And it's something that I always try to remind people that if you're doing like breath work, for instance, you don't want to get up too fast and then go to the next thing and do your day. Well, what about like remaining in that state of meditation to receive the benefits of the practice afterwards? That's where sometimes a lot of the insights will come through. So I highly recommend really adding stillness onto the very end of whatever you do and just seeing what comes through, seeing how you can receive the fruits of your labor. So again, thank you for your feedback.
thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Dina. Thank you so much, Kyle, as well. I could listen to you for hours. I actually want to take a notepad and write down what you're saying. It's just, even in the session, there were so many beautiful words and phrases of wisdom that were pouring out. And I was just like, this is so incredible, so beautiful. So I will definitely also watch the replay, by the way, not only do the practice, because of course I couldn't actually do the practice today fully as I would love to, but it was incredible. So thank you again for that, my brother. Honestly, a privilege to be here with you today. And just before we finish as well, I would like to mention that if you ever thought or feel such a deep connection to Soma Breath, and I know that Sunday Breathe Together sessions are all about the community and coming together, and so many of you have already started a path to become a Soma Breath instructor. And if you're still thinking about it, why not invest and give yourself that gift to become a Soma Breath instructor? And we have 3 incredible retreats happening in 2025. And I and everyone here, Kyle as well, we believe in experiences rather than tangible things, right? If you go onto a retreat where, for example, in January, you can go to Denver. If you're in Australia, February, Sydney. And in March, we have Thailand. So all of these options are out there for you to go to a retreat and experience firsthand. First, how to actually guide sessions, become a Soma Breath instructor, but also build such a strong connection with the people that are joining these retreats. I have myself participated in a retreat and it has changed my life. And I can, by all means, say that. Also, a big shout out, a fan here. Kyle was the person that has approved my level 1 certification video. So thank you, Kyle. You started my journey as well. You allowed me to go to level 2. And then, of course, I am where I am right now. But I will never forget as well the first moments that we had together as brothers bonding as well over Soma Breath, because it is a true, honest, beautiful community. So again, thank you all very, very much. I know that Monica just typed in the links to all the retreats. Always go to our website, somabreath.com. Always be on the lookout for our sessions, our free events, the app, as mentioned before. Please join us. And Kyle, any final words from you?
Yeah. Well, again, just thank you, Piotr, for being the host and for those wonderful words. And I appreciate you and see you as a brother in this Soma tribe. So again, just thank you. Thank you to everyone for joining here today. And just a couple of other little nuggets, or one more nugget at least. Whenever we do these type of energy work or this type of breath work or experience, we always want to ground afterwards. And what better way than eating or drinking? If you're going to be drinking, little TCM secret in Ayurveda, you always want to be drinking warm liquids. You never want to shock your system with any cold liquids. So this is what allows you to keep that gut, that dantian, the agni fire burning. You don't want to put out that fire, right? So warm liquids like tea or warm water with lemon, or just warm water in general, is going to be really helpful in grounding. And yeah, again, remember to smile. Remember that inner smile. It's a lifelong practice, and there will be times when you feel like you don't want to smile, and that'll be part of the journey, is really asking yourself and reflecting on what is blocking you from being able to find that inner smile. And if you were to kind of simplify the spiritual path, in my opinion, to kind of one practice, it is really finding out how to rest in that inner smile at all times, merging with this blissful samadhi where the individual drop becomes one with the ocean of bliss. So find that inner smile, cultivate that inner smile, build your practice around that inner smile, and you will definitely see some insights and synchronicities and changes in your life that you might not have appreciated in the past. So again, just wanted to thank you all for joining, and hope to see you all either in the app or again on one of these Sunday sessions. So thank you.
Thank you so much once more. Kyle, thank you very much. We're all sharing a smile now with you, the inner smile, the outer smile. I can see some beautiful smiles still in the room. People are still here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your life. Let's make the end of 2024 a beautiful ending where you can be more tapped into the stillness, the awareness, the non-doing. I love you all. We love you all. Soma Breath. Until next time. Thank you all. All the best.
Much love.
Mwah, mwah, much love. Thank you. Thank you.